of his eye. Sit right down, we're gonna give you the scoop with Ryan Pfeiffer and Lisa Doop. Shamma-lamma ding-dong, loop-de-loop. This is the story of a guy named Mr. Boop.
You're listening to Being Mr. Boop. I'm the Jonathan, and you're the Chris. My name is Lisa Doop, and I'm Mr. Boop. A lot of these taglines reference those guys this week.
My name is Ryan Pfeiffer, and I am Mr. Boop.
My name is Cheryl Conklo, and I am also a Boop, Mr. Boop.
Yes. Ryan, Cheryl, it's Wednesday, December 16th, 2020, and today we're reading the 208th Mr. Boop strip. What happens in today's Mr. Boop?
In today's Mr. Boop, they are both happy.
That's true. That's a confirmed fact about this strip. Panel 1. In panel 1.
Out of 4.
Panel 1 out of 4. There's 4 panels all the time.
Mm-hmm. We always say it.
Yes.
Alec looks crazy in this strip.
Oh, he looks wild.
He looks like a little gopher. Or a little.
Yes.
He looks like a mascot for like a British game show or a brand of cheese.
He
snacks.
looks like he should be saying neck, 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 neck.
Something. Yeah. What's that one British game show with the guy who wears like the little mask and cape? It's like what? A little red cartoon character guy. Looks like he was like a 70s cartoon character guy.
I have no idea.
You know, they got like a little superhero mask and cape, and it's like a little red guy.
And this is a game show?
I think so. All right, I'm gonna look it up. Keep going.
Okay. We see Betty Boop on the left and Alec Roberts on the right. And Betty's looking down at Alec like, I don't know. How would you describe the expression on Betty's face right here?
How would I describe it?
Yeah, how would you?
In the first panel,
Yes.
very kind of surprised. I don't know. It doesn't seem like she seems surprised that he would say that.
It seemed, it seemed, I guess you might say nonplussed. I don't know.
Yeah.
But also I can see the surprise thing. Alec is looking up at Betty with a big, a bean mouth smile. And he says, I'm really happy. And again, she with that line, I guess she's, I didn't read it as
maybe
him
confused.
her being confused.
I think it's confused, yeah.
Yeah. Like, what? You're happy? In this situation?
Right, yeah.
You know? I don't know. But I don't know if I don't know if I'd say that's my official reading on it. I think it's meant to just be like a blank expression.
The whammy.
The whammy?
The whammy, that's who I'm thinking of. I think, from Press Your Luck? Is that a British game show? The whammy.
That's an American show.
Is it?
Yeah, Press Your Luck is American.
I guess I just assumed it looked like a little British cartoon guy. Oh, that's who he reminded me of, I guess. He doesn't really look like the whammy.
No, he doesn't. I don't know why you brought this up.
And the cheese wheel guy, the guy who's like hanker for a hunk of cheese, that guy.
Rhyme, how would you describe Betty's face in this?
In panel 1?
Yeah. We've described it a few different ways. But we're not sure.
Fish.
Fish?
Fish.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's doing like, she's got like
she's going glub glub glub.
Little
in this.
when a person does like the fish flips, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, of
like
course.
that. I just did it on camera. You can't see it, listeners, because this is an audio podcast.
Listeners, Ryan just did.
But
the
you know
fish
what I'm
flips.
talking about, the fish flips. She looks like she's doing that a little bit. I don't think she's actually supposed to be doing any expression like that. I think it's just supposed to be nonplussed like she is in panel 3.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of I think the thing is the line separating her lips is usually at the bottom of her face, like where her chin, I guess, would be if she had a chin. But instead it's a little bit above that in this panel. So it looks a little bit weirder. It's like it's like the bottom lip is above that. Just about, instead of like the chin parting the two lips.
And then in panel 2, it's the same framing.
Yeah, No one's
but
saying
with no
anything.
text. Betty
Yeah.
kind of smiles.
No
you know?
dialogue.
Alec loses his big grin. One thing that's interesting, and I've heard a lot of comic book analysis talk about the power of a textless panel, because the what's it called?
Jim Davis is familiar. Jim Davis utilizes those quite a bit, huh?
Yeah, because the speech bubbles in the text and panels usually give it a sense of time. Like, you can tell how long it takes place in. But a textless panel often conveys a sense of timelessness. Like it's or an indeterminate amount of time. So I like kind of, I don't know. And I feel like Alec has used a wordless panel to help emphasize a punchline before, but I think this one here is him using it really to create that sense of timelessness and unease. Like, I'm imagining the smile on Betty, like, more slowly creeping up than you might,
Yeah.
Otherwise
I can picture that.
I don't know.
Seems like sincere, but maybe with a bit of underlying worry.
Yeah.
But not a forced smile per se.
Mm.
I wouldn't say. I don't know.
I'd like to imagine that he just kind of stared at her for like 10 minutes straight until she got that she was supposed to smile.
That's a standard evening for them. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what their every night looks like. Yeah.
They alternate one night having sex and then the other night just like standing around
staring at each other
and saying, This is like that Itchy and Scratchy cartoon where they stop being violent.
Oh, yeah,
Just
lemonade.
Please, yeah, that's what this is like. But
Yeah.
without the lemonade, even.
Yeah. I feel like, she in this panel she looks like kind of like a soulless puppet. You know, like she hasn't been
In
given
panel
a
two?
command by Alec. No, yeah, in panel, like she hasn't been given a command
Yeah.
from Alec.
I
yet.
guess, sort of.
Yeah.
It's like she's waiting to be told what to do and what to say. Like she
That's
is
fine.
really nervous, but knows that she has to please him in some way. So she's like acting really happy.
She's a what do they call it? Golem? What do they
a
call it?
golem, I believe.
Golem.
It's pronounced.
Yeah.
No, Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings.
She's got two of them on her ears.
Talking about her precious.
Yeah, Miss Alec is her precious.
Aww.
Oh, that's what he
That would
looks
have been
like.
sweet. That would have.
That's
been a
what he looks
sweeter
like in
feud,
this strip.
but-
He looks like Gollum. Panel 3. Alec.
Well, I wanted to also say, like,
Okay.
we've been talking a lot about how this, or I have, about how it's sort of a thing on how these overly positive relationships can turn manipulative. And I feel like he's like, oh, if I'm not really happy, something fuck's gonna happen. And that's what I feel is part of what she's conveying in panel 2, right? I don't know. You could read that
Maybe.
into it.
Yeah, you could read that into it. Again, I mean,
You
I
could.
didn't think it. I feel like that sort of reading reads the smile as a little bit less sincere than it is. But I think I read the smile as sincere, just with like a little bit of underlying worry. But I don't think it was a forced smile per se.
That's interesting. I never read it as sincere. Like, it definitely read as like hostage victim having
Well,
to
I
smile
think
at camera.
there's a little bit of that I don't know. But like, it's not she's not like just faking it though. Like, I mean, yes, there is that sort of like hostage thing going on, but it's not. She's also just not like, because she is a character invented by him. So it's like she.
And what a character!
It's more like again, to bring it back to Westworld.
Oh,
I don't know. It's more because the Westworld
Hashtag
robots.
Westworld.
They might have like their own thoughts or whatever, but it's like they're also like if you try to have them go along with you, it's they'll like be like, yeah, okay, and they'll smile sincerely because they're programmed to want to go along with the guests on whatever adventure they want to do. So it's kind of like that, I guess. Where
Is that
she's
sincere?
huh?
Is that sincere?
Well, in their mind it is, because they're programmed to feel it sincerely to an extent. Maybe subconsciously it's less sincere for them, but like, they're not. I don't think she's like forcing a smile. Is what I'm saying. Like, I think he's smiling, and so she wants to smile in return, to an extent. I don't know.
And in panel 3, same shot again. It's all the same shot.
Flapper shot is every shot.
Alec lifts his hand to do a talkie, and he's got his big grin on.
Except he actually does look like he's forcing it. That does look like a forced smile to me. Like he
the smile line. That's
like he's trying to like.
Yeah.
Well, he suddenly has a big grin, but his eyebrows are also inverted, like worried, and so are hers, and she's no longer smiling, like as if she wasn't forcing a smile, and now that he seems nervous, now she stops smiling.
Yeah, he's trying to convince himself in a way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Betty isn't smiling now. She looks more just straight up concerned, and he says, "We're both really happy," and both is in all caps. Emphasize it.
See, I think that goes back to the thing where, from my perspective, like, it seems like she's trying to match his energy, but I think there is a part of him that knows that she's not happy, that knows that the smile isn't genuine.
Yeah.
And it is convincing himself, but also trying to convince her, because I think that response, it wouldn't have happened if she was genuinely like, I don't know if this is like mirroring another panel, like 1-to-1. But like, I think with the old Betty Boop, like she was genuinely happy. Like it seemed like as a creation, like she had no qualms or like no, worries about anything. And I think that with this panel, it really cements to me that she is not really happy about the situation.
What changed? Is Alec just more self-aware?
I was going to ask that question again. Like, why can't this Betty be like the Betty from before?
Well, you know what I realized? Their roles sort of swapped in book 4, because in book 1-3, Betty Boop was his superstar, and Alec was his his normie wife, normie husband. And then but now in book 4, Alec is a comic superstar. Or at least this was how it started out, and Liz was just a fan, So I just realized it doesn't really bear much onto this, but I just figured.
I guess I don't understand if his scheme if the narrative is kind of falling apart because he made this Betty from like Liz, who was also made up by him, I guess to get around the copyright or whatever. I mean, he set that up for a while, because he set up like the Liz at the end of volume 2, and he was setting up the fact that he was going to pull back and have it be the real world, and then build up to it being Betty again. That's something that was hypothesized yesterday. If that's true, they were happy before, and now it's like, well, now because of that whole thing he did, now he's like more self-aware about it, or it's falling apart a little bit, or I don't know, but like, it's almost like in trying to save it, he made it worse.
Yeah, I think that the breakings that Betty / Liz make, like the character break, I guess, that she has, where she's like, "Oh, I'm not too sure about this," is sort of him, the fictional author, realizing that he can't continue to, subconsciously realizing he can't continue to rely so heavily on this fantasy. And that it's kind of breaking up. Yeah.
Here's something interesting about that. In volume 3, when he was forced to, was it divorce or separate? I guess they were
Divorce.
forced to fully
Divorce.
divorce right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were forced to get a divorce, and he was miserable. But then he was like, "Oh, I'll just marry her again." Like that was his solution. I'll just
Yeah.
marry her again. And then that made it worse because he had to like fully admit that the whole thing was a lie. And now
Oh.
he's tried to work around it again, in an even more elaborate way, where he's set up this whole like Liz turning into Betty Boop thing, and now it's breaking down even more, where the whole strip is at jeopardy.
In panel 4, Betty and Alec are both grinning, and Betty has clasped her hands together. Alec has his hand on his chest. What a hand imagery in this one. And
I
Betty
guess.
reads. I mean, just pointed it out. What is it? It's not. It's no Steve Ditko, is it?
Is there a
Um,
lot though?
No. I was just, people like to point out that Steve Ditko draws a lot of hands, and I wanted.
Does
to
he?
Yeah, he does. It's one
Who's
of his
that
favorite
again?
things to do. What?
Who's
He
that
invented
again?
Spider-Man and
Oh.
Doctor Strange and shit.
Oh yeah,
Um,
okay.
And Betty says, "We're both happy. Yes."
And she's doing a little Wallace grin. No, not Wallace. I don't know.
Whatever.
She's
this-
grinning and
whatever.
she got her hands clasped in a sort of
pleasing way, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure.
British.
A British. way.
British way.
Yeah.
You do that, right, Lisa?
Yeah, of course, all the time. The Patreon Shadow Synopsis reads, "Checking in again. Hope everyone's enjoying the comic now that it's back to normal." It's back to
And
normal,
checking out
guys.
of life.
Yeah. I feel like I like this recurring gag he's been doing in the Patreon descriptions, just acting like everything's normal.
Well, exactly. This is what I mean, though. Like it's still like in.
Yeah.
I mean, you could read that as in character to an extent, but it's also like separated from the Alec in the strip
There's so many
Um,
layers of fiction.
to an extent. I keep saying to an extent.
To an extent.
I keep
Sure.
saying to an extent. To an extent. I think Betty. Again, I read Betty's happiness in panel 4 as like sincere, at least as much as a Westworld host, whatever, would be sincere. Like
It just kind of, if it is sincere, then it kind of contradicts things that happen later to me.
okay.
Yeah, like I think if it was sincere, and just kind of sticking to like just this panel, but I feel like it would really confuse some of the choices in language later on.
Okay.
from
Well, just in this-
iteration.
Just
Yeah.
in this strip, she's if you take this strip on its own, it's
Yeah, okay.
it kind of like she's like just standing with her husband, and she he's smiling, so she smiles back. She's like, "Oh, it's my husband smiling. Okay, I'll smile back." And then he smiles nervously, so she's just like, "Okay, what's going on?" I'm kind of like, "I'm not smiling anymore. This is weird." But he says they're both happy, so she's like, "Yeah, we're both happy." So she smiles
Yeah, obviously.
really to like reassure him. She smiles really widely.
Well, folks, you've been listening to Being Mr. Boop. Not sponsored by Pretzilla, soft-baked pretzel bites. I don't know what that is.
Don't buy them. We're not sponsored.
You can visit the show's website at www.beingmrboop.com for a full catalog of episodes. For more updates, follow at Mr. Boop Pod on Twitter. And you can't sign up to host any more episodes because we're booked.
No. I'd like to see you try.
You could email us and we'd probably let you on one of the not guest weeks.
Would we? There's
I don't
not
know,
very
they-
many left.
They do it on BG Day.
Yeah. Well, they have like thousands of more weeks to go. so it's like, yeah, fuck it, whatever. You can guess this week. But we only have like what? I don't even know. How many more weeks do we have?
2 more.
Oh, yeah. Wait, what?
Yeah,
No.
2 more.
I don't think so.
Yeah, the last week has 5 strips.
Huh. I think I might have messed up.
Well,
when I was planning this out. We're going to have to figure that out. Well, I'm at KMA106 on Twitter and at Semi Sweet Stuffs for everything else I make.
yes, I'm Lee Stoop. You can find me on Bandcamp. And you are?
And I am Cheryl Conkle. You can find me at Cheryl Conkle on YouTube, but also Neat Comets on everything else.
Thank you and good night.
Beautiful. Thank you and good night.
Good night.
Okay. Friday.
This podcast was brought to you by the Pitch Drop Podcast Network. Like what you just heard? Support the show by going to patreon.com/pitch drop. And while you're at it, check out pitchdrop.net for more of this and other shows.